Hey guys, Alicia here. I'm kind of excited about this video, but I've done similar videos to this. It's just been a while. And in my last video, I started to delve into Canva, and I did promise that my next video would be using iPicky, and I'm trying to keep that incorporated into my videos as most of my viewers do really enjoy this program. Also, please make sure you stay until the end of the video because I have a question I want to ask you guys, and I'm doing back-to-back videos today, and my next video is going to be just a question I want to ask, and I'm going to go with the popular vote. So let's go ahead and get into this. Today's video is going to be on how to make a simple wedding invitation using iPicky.com. And it's very simple, and I'm going to be as thorough as I possibly can. If you know anything about me, or if you've been following me for any length of time, you do know that I enjoy keeping my videos both budget and user-friendly, because not everyone wants to learn, Photoshop and Illustrator, which there's nothing wrong with using those programs at all. I highly recommend it. But this is great, especially if you're starting out, or if this is just the way you want to continue, which is the way that I want to. So I am in iPicky.com, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Create a Design. Something that iPicky is pretty good about. The next thing I need to do here is I am going to select a size. Now, normally we could put our pixels in here for a 5x7, but iPicky already happens to have this size. Now, wedding invitations can be, different sizes, but we're going to go with the standard 5x7. And we're going to click Create. Now, at this point, you have the option to keep this vertical, or you have the option to switch it to, or this is horizontal, and we have the option to switch it to a horizontal if we wanted to. But I'm going to go ahead and keep this like it is. Okay, so I've already uploaded a few clip art, and I like to follow trends on weddings, and one of the things that I have noticed is people are going with wedding invitations that have greenery on them. They have, like just plain like greenery rather than the typical colors that they pick out. I mean, they may have colors for their wedding, but their invitations, I'm seeing a huge trend. So this video, I'm going to be using some eucalyptus clip art that I purchased, and I'll tell you where to get these. I actually purchased mine a while back. I've had them for, gosh, it's been over 2 years. I don't even know if the seller is still on Etsy. So if you go to Etsy and you click here, I put in watercolor eucalyptus PNG, and this is where you can find these. But is what you want to look for is you are wanting to look for somebody who allows commercial use on your items, or if they offer a license. So let's say you have a huge business and you're going to be making a lot more than 500 items, then most of these sellers have. So this one right here I clicked on, and if we, this one you get 20 eucalyptus watercolor clip art, and if you go here and you read about this, it will tell you personal use and small commercial use. Now, if you have any doubts on what small commercial use means, you might want to email the seller just to make sure that it's okay to use. But I have noticed that people who charge more, this one was only $5.40, but people who charge more typically will have something like this, like where they offer personal use and small commercial use. So I just wanted to kind of get that out of the way. You want to make sure you work with the seller just to make sure. So now that I have that out of the way to show you where you can find the clip art to use, then I'm going to go ahead and get right into this video. Okay, so there is a method to my madness always. You might think I'm crazy at first by doing this, but let me tell you why. Here's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my pictures that I have already uploaded. And I'm going to drag this one over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to barely tilt this. And I am going to make this huge until it covers the entire, it covers the entire template. Well, okay, had to pause it there for just a second because I accidentally clicked on an ad. Okay, so anyway, I am going to keep making this bigger, and then I will explain my reasoning as to why here shortly. Okay, so I have now covered this entire thing. Now is what I'm wanting to do is we're going to click on background, and I want to fade this, and I'm going to fade it actually quite a bit. And the reason that I am doing this is simply because I am wanting to add some texture to the actual template. Okay, so you can tell, and you can actually take this down as much as you want. I really want to take it to about 54, just so that it's not a plain white background. And if you see those little checks in there, that's just because it's a PNG file. It's okay, it's all going to turn out in the end. So the next thing I want to do, and there are several different eucalyptus clip art, but I'm going to go ahead and choose this one right here. And this is sort of like a border, but I don't want to, I want to make this bigger. And then we can kind of play around with this a little bit, and then I'm going to move this up to the top. Okay. And once again on this one, I think I really want to take this down even more to about 65. You'll see in the end whenever I actually save it. Okay, so at this point is where we can start adding our text. Now, I will tell you that there are a zillion different ways to add wording to a wedding invitation. Some people really want to keep things simple. Some people really want to, you know, make it very formal. So it just depends on what they are asking for. So I'm going to move that up one more time just a little bit because I don't want it being drugged down too much in the middle. Just have to kind of play around with it. Okay, so we basically have our template, and we don't have a solid background or a plain white background. We do have some texture here. Something else you can do if you don't really like the way that this is, you can bring this down a little bit, and I can go ahead and pull that up a little bit more, and it just gives the background a little bit more texture so that it's not just plain white. And it's not green either. It's going to barely show when we are, you know, completed, but just a little bit of texture. So this is where I'm going to start adding my text, which you basically just click here on the text, okay, to add your text. And this is where I'm going to start doing this. So that you guys don't have to watch me filling all of this out and choosing fonts, I will pause the video and then I will be back shortly to show you the end result. By the way, anytime you want to add text and you want to space it the way that you want to, you can add as many text boxes as you want. So like we might want this text box, you know, in one font, but we might want this text box in another font. Okay, so just bear with me. I'm going to pause for just a moment and then you will see the end result. Okay, so I finally got all of my wording on here, and I know this looks small. I'm going to blow it up here in just a bit, but here's how many layers I have. So because I wanted to use different fonts and different sizing for each of them, I went ahead and I have all of these layers. And when I blow this up, you can tell that this looks like it's a transparent background, but I'll show you what happens when we go to save this. So give me one moment here. Let me just blow this up again so you can see. And it looks like it has like a sort of a green background. We can always click on that outer layer again if we want to sort of mess around with it, because it's not going to look like that. So once we save it. And I'm also going to take this layer right here and I am going to fade it just a little bit. Another thing I did with my text is I also faded it from the black. Let me see if I did this one. Did I fade this? I did not fade that. So I just like to fade it a little bit. You just kind of have to play around with it until you get it to where you actually like it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click save. I may not have everything. Let's see, did I forget to save this one too? Let me fade this a little bit. Reception to follow. So basically it just says, we kindly request your presence for the wedding of Amber and Jason, Saturday, June 25th, 2022 at 7 o'clock in the evening. And this is for more formal invitations where you would literally type out o'clock. 7 o'clock in the evening. I made this completely up. Liam in, reception to follow. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click save. Okay, so when I click save, you'll notice here it says your image has transparent areas. Save as a PNG to preserve transparency. That is not what I want to do. I don't want to preserve the transparency. So I'm going to go ahead and click JPEG and the highest quality, and then I'm going to go ahead and save this to my computer. I'm going to save it to my desktop, and then we're going to pull it back up again. And give me one moment. I will pause it so you don't have to wait for me to pull that back up again. Okay, so I pulled this back up again and I'm going to blow this up because when you look closely, it looks like there is texture behind the video or behind this a little bit. So you can tell, like right here, there is just a little bit of texture to it where I faded it. So there was a method to my madness on that. So I do hope that this video was helpful to you, and I hope that you enjoyed this. Now stay tuned because I'm getting ready to make another video directly after this, but it's not going to be digital design. It's just something I would like your opinion on. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.